daft enough to imagine she could go on stage with it. A few carols around the Holmes piano were enough for her. Anyway, I've got to go. There's a bit of lamb on the cool shelf in the larder and potatoes under the sink. Make sure they all wash their hands before they eat. Oh, and by the way, she halted briefly before stepping out into the cold of the December evening. You might have to wait before you start your stage career. The government's just brought out a new law saying that every woman who's not married between 20 and 30 has to sign up for war work. I don't think they count singing. Evelyn snorted. You're just jealous. I'm not 20 yet anyhow. Not far off, though, Gladys shot back. You've got, what, about 18 months to become a star? Then you'll have to sign up for the land army or whatever. Never! I'll break my nails. Evelyn looked aghast. But I tell you what, I shan't ever do what you do. I think it's disgusting, all that blood and all. You don't know who half those people are or anything. Gladys smiled, unmoved by her sister's final comment. She carried on smiling as she made her way along the back lane and headed towards the first aid post, which was in the nearby church hall. She didn't care what anybody else thought. She had believed that nursing was beyond her wildest dreams, and yet here she was, about to start a shift in a job she loved. It didn't matter that she'd already done a day's work, cleaning and cooking at the nurse's home. She truly could not think of a better way to spend her evening. You awake, Billy? Kathleen turned over on the narrow mattress and shook the shoulder of the man lying next to her. It's nearly time for your shift. Billy groaned. Just 2 minutes more, Kip, Kath. He stretched, his feet pressing against the cold wall of the small room. He'd often wished he was taller, but now he realised his average height was a blessing. He wouldn't have fitted into Kathleen's bed otherwise. Strictly speaking, he shouldn't have been there at all. It's no good, Billy. I can't hold back the clock. Shall I make us a cup of tea while you get ready? Kathleen was half out of the bed, but he pulled her down to him again and stopped her. Let's wait a bit. Let's have a cuddle. Warm me up before I have to go out. He smiled up at her, scarcely able to credit his good fortune. Here they were, together at last. It wasn't exactly as he had imagined it, squeezed into a tiny bedsit instead of their own home, but he didn't care. As long as he had Kath with him, he could move mountains. She sighed. Not long now and we'll have a proper big bed. That day can't come soon enough, Billy agreed, moving his feet so they didn't touch the freezing wall. We'll deserve it and all. Lord knows we're due a bit of comfort, you and me. Kathleen hugged him, pressing her face into his dark hair, cut short but still with a bit of curl to it. She still had to pinch herself sometimes. Despite the disappointment of having to postpone their wedding, she counted herself lucky to be in his arms. She didn't care about the poky room. She had never known much better, and soon they would have their own home, a real house with a separate bedroom for her little boy, and their own yard out the back, which they wouldn't have to share with anyone. She shifted slightly, careful not to make too much noise. Her landlady lived downstairs and didn't approve of Billy coming to visit, although she generally turned a blind eye. Sometimes Kathleen felt guilty that they had preempted their wedding vows, but after the horror of what had happened, she couldn't bear the thought of never having had Billy in her arms, not knowing his love. Life could be snuffed out at any moment. For years she had lived in a small downstairs flat on a side street in Dalston. She had moved in when she'd married her first husband, Ray, full of hope for the future. That had soon vanished when she realised what sort of man he was. Mean, unreliable, violent. She'd been blinded by his good looks, although everyone had warned her. She hadn't listened. The only good thing to come out of the marriage was her boy, Brian, who would be 3 in the new year. Now Ray was dead, killed down at the docks where he'd been trying to cash in on the black market. Kathleen had tried to show some respect for him. He was her son's father and she wanted to do the right thing,